So the last form of coaching that I want to share with you today is mindfulness coaching. Mindfulness is all about being non-judgmental, it's being present, it's being emotionally aware and connected from moment to moment. And, we live a very busy life with this thing in our hands, super distracted. We have a lot of events happening around us in the world, which are very questionable, of course. If you're watching the news and media, you may go into a fear cycle. If you're worried about the future or you're in fear of repeating the past, then you're not present. And I personally have to practice this over and over again. I'm not perfect. I slip in and out of it too. But here are some ways that you can increase mindfulness. It doesn't have to be like a new age based teaching or like Eastern mysticism based teaching. You can use mindfulness in a practical way as well. So just, pick and choose which way you want to do it. I personally use it for practical reasons, and it brings a lot of awareness for my clients. So typically a coach that is using mindfulness practices would use mindful listening. Okay, that's the first thing. This is where coaches practice deep, non-judgmental listening, creating a safe and supportive space for your clients to express their thoughts, their feelings, and their experiences without this fear of judgment or criticism. This is really important. Another way you can really bring that mindfulness coaching into play is to bring in mindfulness meditation practices. And this is where you introduce your clients to various different forms of mindfulness meditation, right? Such as focused attention, whether it's open monitoring and understanding the space that you're in, or if it's about loving kindness. This can even help you to develop a deeper sense of self-worth and even self-awareness as well. And having an emotional regulation practice is very good to do when it comes to meditation. It brings me personally into a place to center myself. And that's what the goal is with mindfulness meditation, is to bring you back into a center, right? And I personally call upon God, center me in this, bring me back to presence. I'm getting distracted in this crazy world, and I need your clarity and I need your support, right? People have different ways of practicing meditation. I even meditate on the word. I'll read a scripture and I'll sit and I'll meditate on it. What does this mean? How does this apply to my life? God, guide me in this. Everybody has their own sort of practices. Some are spiritual, some are more practical. But this is just another way to bring yourself back to center. I have mentioned this before in positive psychology. Again, mindfulness practice here, body scanning, really just scanning your body to see if there's anything showing up that feels like a disconnect. Maybe even just scanning your body to see if there's any points where you could bring in some relaxation. Maybe if noticing that you're tight in your left shoulder or your right shoulder or both shoulders, maybe there's tightness in your back. So just really sitting and becoming present where that is. Just really soothing over, okay, if there's any sort of story, because I believe that our body is like a library. It stores everything. And when there's stories, sometimes if that's playing in the background, we're tense, right? And it tightens up. And our body stores within its own self, because of our thoughts and because of our experiences and what we make it mean. It stores tension in the body. Okay, the body is always keeping score. Body never lies. It's very good to know as a coach that the body doesn't lie. So, some people are very good at identifying pain points and where stories are related there. There's like NLP practices. It's called somatic work, SOMATIC, somatic work, which is about the body, putting people into experiential practices to be able to shift and move any sort of tension points in the body. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool things you can look into with mindfulness. Another one would be just that mindful breathing, right? Noticing where your breath is going. When a baby is first brought into the world, a baby is breathing deeply into its tummy. You see the belly going up and it comes out. Right? Whereas we breathe up here a lot, up in the chest, and that's shallow breathing, and it doesn't give us a deep sense of relaxation. It keeps us in anxiety and stress. And then our mind follows the body follows the mind. It goes around in a loop. Right? So it's important to come back to the breath and really center that breath. Mindfulness inquiry is really good too. Just reflecting on questions to encourage your clients to explore their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions. Even just seeing, is there anything here that I'm judging? Is there anything here that I have held for too long that I now get to accept and let go? Right? Sometimes some people will hold on to a story for years in their life and it doesn't serve them. It really does not help because they continue to keep themselves in this pain and this frustration. Another thing is mindful communication. So really encouraging your clients to communicate with others with empathy, to even be an active listener as well. So maybe if you're a relationship coach and you have a client that is always cutting their partner off, it's about saying, hey, slow down a bit here. Let your client speak. Communicate in a way that would be loving. How would you speak to your own self, right? How would you speak to a little child, right? Not in a like a condescending way in that sense, but just would you show that little child love if that child didn't know? Sometimes our partners, we treat them as if they're supposed to know things, and we're not mind readers, right? So it's really important to be able to have compassionate communication. There's a book called Nonviolent Communication. It sounds weird, nonviolent communication or compassionate communication. Tony Robbins talks about it a lot, says it's a great book. I read it many years ago. And it's just a really great way to be able to powerfully communicate with people and also with your partner too, if you're in relationship. So this is mindfulness communication or mindful communication. Also mindful goal setting, really making sure that your values are aligned with what is most important to you and having intention. So what is the intention of the day? What is the intention behind your goal? What is the intention behind your vision? And making sure it's coming from a place that's intentional and moving through life that's aligned with your values and your intentions rather than just reacting, but responding and choosing, right? We also have mindful self-compassion, mindfulness coaching, which is just really checking back in and practicing self-compassion, treating yourself with kindness, treating yourself with understanding, acceptance, and especially in times where you're going through frustration and pain and sorrow, really just accepting like, hey, you are human, you are not perfect. Sometimes life is not fair. You do have the strength to be able to move through this. Who out there is able to support and show love? Who can I connect with? Is it God? Do I connect with even looking at some of your older achievements and appreciating that you were able to do some great things or that you were able to overcome, so therefore you are able to overcome this too, right? And having some compassion and grace for yourself as well, rather than always expecting so much. This is mindful self-compassion. And then the last thing I would say is just present moment awareness. One of the things that I'm not the best at, I gotta admit, my wife pulls me up on it all the time, is sometimes I'm eating food and I'm thinking so much in my head about things. I'm thinking about my day. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next. I'm thinking about something that's maybe frustrating me or something that I'm like really excited about in creation in my mind. But I'm eating really quickly, you know, and I finish my plate before everybody else. And it gets brought to my attention by my wife usually. And sometimes I notice it myself. I'm like, oh man, I ate that kind of quick. And so what happens is the body takes the hit, right? So my digestive system now is on overload and a lot of pressure. And I'm teaching my body rush, 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 right? So it's really about just slowing down in our daily life and being intentional, yes, but also being present. And, we realize that we actually have a lot more time than we think in a day. We do and we don't, in a sense. Like you can't waste time and not do anything, but at the same time, you also do have time if you structure it properly and you make time to be able to be present. So I think mindfulness-based coaching is really important. It supports your client to develop great self-awareness. It creates great emotional resilience, mental clarity. It's very empowering. And also, it just gets people thinking about what their true purpose is in life, that they actually are focused on being someone that is centered and focusing on their well-being so that they can move with power, but also with grace. And that's what I love about mindfulness-based coaching. So I hope that out of all the coaching methods that I've taught here, you're able to pull out some of those things. I'm not expecting that you learn every single one of it. If you want to and be an ace, hey, by all means, go for it. But the key is to be able to pull out some of the things that you want to bring in to your coaching practices to be able to teach your clients and guide your clients in a powerful way. One more thing I was going to add is I learned it's called acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT therapy. And there's a book called The Happiness Trap, and there's a book called The Confidence Gap as well, where his name is Russ. I can't remember his full name, Russ something or other, but Russ wrote some really awesome pieces in there about acceptance and commitment therapy, which is mindfulness. It's mindfulness practices. So there's some cool things in those books. So get your hands on those books too. Anyway, big love. I hope you enjoyed the different coaching practices. There's so many more different practices that you could learn, like NLP, Psych-K. You could learn strategic coaching, problem solving, critical thinking. Oh, there's so many different practices, but I would say I don't want to overload you with it, right? Like this is a whole new world here for you if you're stepping in for the first time. It's cool, right? I also teach awesome tools, frameworks, exercises in Influential Coach. It goes beyond even these types of coachings that I share with you. There's more frameworks and different ways you can evoke your clients' incredible potential and to create transformational results. So yeah, welcome to an awesome new world of transformation. Learn the tools and walk your clients through them to get results. That's what it means. If you're getting results for your clients, then you are a real coach. And I hope that you've learned enough of these tools, at least got some clarity around what you can implement into your coaching sessions, and you can start getting some results today.